He was once one of the most powerful men in the world. Now Andrew Mountbatten-Windsor is being quietly hidden away on a remote farm. But you cannot simply erase decades of entitlement. Whispers from the grounds reveal that staff are being subjected to a long list of bizarre military-style demands that have left the workplace in absolute chaos. With a massive flood of public anger and King Charles losing his patience, a dark storm is brewing over the estate. What exactly is happening behind those newly built security fences? Imagine discovering that your entire daily routine was controlled by a fallen former royal who refuses to accept reality. That is exactly the nightmares staff members faced while serving Andrew Mountbatten-Windsor. For years, the 30-room royal lodge was his personal kingdom, where the rules of the outside world simply did not apply. But as his standing crumbled, his demands on those around him only seemed to grow more intense. The most unbelievable example of this is a collection of 72 stuffed teddy bears. This isn't just a quirky habit, it was a daily operation that required military-grade precision. According to a former maid, Charlotte Briggs, she was forced to undergo a full day of training just to learn the exact placement of the bears on his bed. If even a single bear was out of position by an inch, there would be absolute chaos. Imagine a grown man demanding that level of obedience over children's toys while his entire public life was falling apart. But the bizarre rules didn't stop with stuffed animals. He treated his staff like subordinates in a rigid military hierarchy. Former employees recalled that he would bark orders like a drill sergeant, expecting instant compliance and total formality. Statements like, "I want you to do this for me and do it right now," were common. This abrasive attitude was tolerated for years, but the atmosphere behind those closed doors was incredibly tense. Now that entire world of absolute privilege has officially vanished. King Charles has cut off his allowance, stripped his security, and forced him completely out of his beloved mansion. But as the moving trucks arrive at his new, much smaller 5-bedroom farmhouse, a new set of problems is bubbling to the surface. And what happened when the boxes were unloaded left onlookers completely stunned. Imagine being stripped of your most prized possession and still trying to flex it in public. That is the exact level of defiance happening right now as Andrew Mountbatten-Windsor packs up his life. King Charles officially banned him from using the title His Royal Highness or calling himself a prince. But as the moving trucks arrived at his new, smaller Sandringham farmhouse, onlookers noticed something that left everyone completely stunned. Scattered across the gravel driveway were moving boxes boldly labeled with the letters HRH. This isn't just a simple mistake, it's a massive, defiant middle finger to the crown. He is moving from a 30-room palace to a modest 5-bedroomed farm, yet he is forcing movers to handle his boxes as if he was still a reigning king. Insiders claim that inside his walls, he still demands that long-suffering staff bow, curtsy, and address him by his forbidden titles. He reportedly told staff that respect is his birthright and not something his brother can just erase. But King Charles is not playing games. The monarch is cutting costs, slashing his brother's staff from 28 down to a mere skeleton crew of 3 and pushing him out into the cold. To make matters worse, 3 massive lorries from a royal warrant art company were spotted backed up to the farmhouse, unloading priceless fine art. These multi-million-dollar masterpieces are being crammed into a drafty country home that was previously occupied by a tenant farmer. And as he tries to recreate a mini palace inside this humble farm, the local residents are absolutely furious. They feel like the king is simply dumping his family's radioactive garbage directly into their quiet community. But dealing with angry neighbors is the least of his worries. A much darker, uncontrollable storm is brewing just beyond the brand new security fences. Imagine spending millions of dollars to build a fortress only to realize you are completely trapped inside it. That is the exact reality setting in for Andrew Mountbatten-Windsor at his new property. In a desperate bid to hide from the public eye, workers have been frantically installing a massive 6-foot perimeter fence, high-tech CCTV cameras, and heavy wooden gates. He even managed to get a strict no-fly zone established over the property to stop drones from peeking in. But hiding behind a giant wooden wall cannot stop the massive wave of public fury. Local residents are absolutely livid, claiming that King Charles is simply dumping his family's radioactive drama directly into their quiet community. They are openly complaining that if the family really wanted to treat him like an outcast, they should have built him a home deep in the isolated woods, not in a place where normal people have to live and work. To make matters worse, guided tourist safaris are now driving paying visitors directly past the newly fenced property, turning his private hideout into a literal zoo exhibit. But dealing with angry neighbors and snapping cameras is the least of his worries. While he is busy trying to fit multi-million-dollar paintings and a small army of staff into a modest 5-bedroom farm, nature is preparing to deliver the ultimate reality check. The property is located directly on a high-risk floodplain, and environmental agencies have already issued emergency warnings that the area could easily be submerged by a torrent of water. He is literally sitting on a ticking time bomb, desperately trying to cling to his past life of luxury. And as the water levels and public anger continue to rise, a much darker, unstoppable storm is brewing just across the Atlantic. The fragile shield of the royal family has officially shattered, and the fallout has been catastrophic. On what was supposed to be a quiet 66th birthday, Andrew Mountbatten-Windsor was taken into custody by police and subjected to an agonizing 11-hour interrogation. He was arrested on suspicion of misconduct in public office after a massive release of unsealed files exposed a web of communication with his late, disgraced associate, Jeffrey Epstein. His brother, King Charles, immediately released a statement declaring that the law must take its course. As detectives aggressively dig deeper into his past, the pressure from Parliament is reaching an absolute fever pitch. Lawmakers are actively pushing forward new demands to have him removed from the royal line of succession entirely. Yet, in the middle of this historic scandal, he has been spotted calmly driving his Range Rover around the Sandringham estate grounds, acting as if the world isn't collapsing around him. But even his new neighbors are completely out of patience. Local residents are absolutely livid, claiming that King Charles is simply dumping his family's radioactive drama directly into their quiet community. They are openly complaining that if the family really wanted to treat him like an outcast, they should have sent him to an isolated island, not a place where normal people have to live and work. To make matters worse, guided tourist safaris are now driving paying visitors directly past the newly fenced property, turning his private hideout into a literal zoo exhibit. But dealing with angry neighbors and snapping cameras is the least of his worries. While he is busy trying to fit multi-million-dollar paintings and a newly delivered mobile home for his security staff onto the farm, nature is preparing to deliver the ultimate reality check. The property is located directly on a high-risk floodplain, and environmental agencies have advised locals to watch out for sudden surges of water. He is sitting on a ticking bomb, desperately trying to cling to his past life of luxury. And as the floodwaters and public anger continue to rise, a much darker, unstoppable storm is brewing that could permanently shatter his freedom. The clock is ticking on a lifestyle of absolute denial. For decades, Andrew Mountbatten-Windsor acted as though the normal rules of society simply did not apply to him. He demanded military precision over stuffed animals, ignored direct orders from the king, and treated staff like disposable subordinates. But now, isolated on a 5-bedroomed farm and directly in the crosshairs of a major criminal investigation, the walls are closing in. He is officially the first senior royal to face arrest in nearly 400 years. It seems that no matter how high you build your security fences, you cannot keep the truth locked out forever. Now, we want to hear from you. Do you think the investigation into the leaked Epstein files will finally lead to a full criminal trial? Or will the royal family find a way to keep him protected? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. We read every single one. If you found this breakdown interesting, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel so you never miss the next big update on this developing story. Thanks for watching, and we will see you in the next one.